Hello, Cancer. I am Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to your mid-month checkpoint for March. It's so good to be here. I appreciate your patience, by the way. The reason these are rolling out a little bit late is I had to take care of myself. I had some health issues earlier this month that required a full stop. So I took the time that I needed. I'm feeling better, and health first. Sometimes I think people forget that creators are people too, and we need to take care of ourselves and things come up. So thanks for understanding. Let's get into your channeled messages. For your sign, I saw the symbol of a waterfall coming through. I really feel like this is auspicious because I feel the energy of movement, undeniable momentum, and change associated with this. What's necessary with the waterfall is release, like letting go, because once you hit that critical point, you're going to move into something new. And sometimes it feels like you're free falling when a change happens in your life, a new job, a new relationship, a move. But I feel like this has been building for a while. You've been approaching this waterfall moment for a while. And what's important now is to release things that you don't need so that you can enjoy this sort of next level of this trip. Now, the flow of energy, this is really important. And I think this is the pivotal piece of this symbol. Don't fight what's inevitable, what's natural, what's opening up. An opportunity could be knocking, and the invitation is to open the door and connect with that, even if it means going out of your comfort zone. There could be a certain situation or a certain thing that's kind of falling out of your life, and it's a natural evolution of you and that other thing or person. So whether there's a job that you're leaving or losing, whether there's a person that has transitioned into spirit or a breakup, these things are never easy, but it is a natural transition of what's going on in your life, and there's something bigger, better, and brighter just down the line. My goal today is to help you find those breakthrough moments. Know when it's okay to just say, let's do this, and release it. Know when maybe you do need to fight or push a little bit. But ultimately, I want to identify where the energy is flowing and taking you. There should be some natural sort of openings where you can put your time and energy and be really effective. Let's give Apollo a pat on the head, and after that, we will get into the reading. Oh, he looks cute. Hey, buddy. Who's a good boy? Yes, I know. Sleepy time for you. Good boy. All right, please take a moment, close your eyes, and let's focus on a serene scene. You can imagine yourself wherever you want to, but then connect to the energy of the sun and imagine that the sun is connecting to you as well, creating a circle of light around your body. Within this circle, you are safe, protected, and connected. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. Spirit is asking you, what's the next move? Do you remember, or have you ever heard of the choose your own adventure books that used to be out like in the 80s and 90s? They were these books where you would turn to a certain page to change your destiny. So there'd be a decision in front of you and there might be 2 or 3 options, and you would turn to certain pages to see where that would take you. Life is kind of like a choose your own adventure movie or book where you're constantly writing, rewriting, and exploring different paths. But it's your quest, it's your journey, and you're the author, you're the co-creator. With this card in reverse, it may be sort of this wake-up call for some of you to not wait for someone else to give you the story, but to create your own arc, your own movement. And it's never too late. It's never a foregone conclusion to go after something that you're really passionate about. So for some of you, the quest card in reverse is reclamation. I want to go back and go after that dream. I want to go back and finish that project. Say I'm sorry, say I love you, say goodbye. Whatever it is that's kind of sitting there that's holding you back from having your waterfall moment where everything starts to move in a new direction and you have your breakthrough. So a little bit of decision time, if you will. All right, there are definitely some cards here that I want to help you with, the center card and the near future in particular. So without any delay, let's go ahead and get into that Five of Pentacles. It is reversed, which I prefer if I'm going to get the Five of Pentacles. They did a really good job of keeping it true to the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. Let's talk about what this card represents. Ultimately, this is a card that comes through when there's inner healing to be done. It could be the inner child. It could be something that someone said yesterday. Typically, what it does is it chips away a little bit at your confidence, your ego, your self-worth. So message one is you are worthy. You deserve more than what's in front of you. The reversal of this card is saying you can reject people, opportunities, and environments that don't deliver, don't give enough, or make you feel less than, because you are greater than or equal to. You're on the same footing as someone who might be trying to make you feel less than. This is a card that also indicates the toll that emotional difficulties can have on our health. Oftentimes you see a person with crutches, you can still kind of see it. He's got a crutch right there. So it's about letting go of crutches in our life. I very rarely get that visual, but that's what I'm seeing here. So a crutch could be smoking, drinking, eating the wrong things, hanging out with people that are toxic, whatever the crutch is. We're going to release that because it basically takes more than it gives to us. The other thing is this can have to do with like circulation in your feet, legs, and ankles. So for those of you like me that sit a lot, you want to take breaks. I have a little walking pad, which is basically a small treadmill, and I take breaks between readings to get the blood flowing, to breathe, to let go. So little things like that, 10-minute breaks between sitting for an hour can be make a big impact on your general health and well-being. When it comes to money and pay, we really want to advocate for getting what you deserve and not overextending yourself, time, energy, and resources, okay? A lot to compress with just that. Crossing this card, we actually have something quite auspicious, the Ace of Wands. When you fight for what you're worth, you start to receive more. People respect you more because they're not used to that. And if they don't, so be it. This will be a natural release of things in your life that are kind of holding you back or holding you down. The Ace of Wands is an idea. It's something that you're willing to go to bat for. You could imagine this. I mean, it's batons in some decks, but you could imagine that you're going to bat and you're going to go for something that you love. It represents attraction, passion, connection, ideation, brainstorming, something that you really believe in. And it's absolutely connected to the Quest card. So you're going back and reclaiming something because in the past someone didn't give you the support, like the vote of confidence, or literally maybe the time, energy, or resources to make it happen. So you're going to do it yourself. Really focus on doing things that light up your mind this month. Reading, talking to other people, watching a movie that inspires you. Anything that turns on that light bulb and makes you feel, excited. This is what that's about. Okay? Let's take a look at the karmic energy. So in the deep past here, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is reversed. We have the Sun here. In the recent past, I see some relationship recalibration because the Sun can also be a card of love. We'll talk about the Six of Cups first. This is often calling back to childhood or someone from the past. You may need to revisit, release, or connect with someone from the past so that you can move on to a future relationship. Something that's left unsaid, something that just hasn't been dealt with completely. This is the time to deal with it. If it represents someone who's in spirit, let's say it's a lost family member or an ex-partner that's no longer here, you can still do the work even if they're not present, whether they're simply geographically separated or there's estrangement or they're in spirit. You can still do the work on your part to say, I love you, I release you, and I'm ready to move forward. Some of you have been working long and hard to get recognition. So the flowers that we see here is a sign of affection, appreciation, and getting your flowers, your recognition. Don't give up on yourself, even if you haven't had your moment in the sun, because the very next card is the Sun card, okay? What was once denied is starting to come around again, and this time you're ready. This time the universe is ready. This time the energy is pointing you towards that. One rejection doesn't mean forever rejection. It just wasn't the right time. Either you or the other person or the opportunity in front of you, something was a mismatch. So we're opening up now to getting into the energy of the Sun. This represents your power, solar plexus energy. This represents your vitality, getting back from that Five of Pentacles energy into something that is like vibrant, alive, and moving forward. This is attraction, as we see here. The reason that love is often on this is because the sun is the magnet. It holds everything together, everything's spinning around it. It represents cohesive energy, attraction, and power. Suffice it to say, you have all of that. In the traditional spread, it's also, or I should say the traditional deck, it's usually a baby as well. So it's birthing, releasing, creating. If you've been holding back on doing something that you need to do, this is the time to launch, to announce, or to birth that, because the sun is ready to set things in motion. In the crowning position, we have two cards. Temperance is presenting, Six of Pentacles in the reverse position is supporting. So with the Temperance energy, we'll talk about that first. This is basically an encouragement from Spirit to take time to meditate, to take time also to digest and be present with the changes that are underway. Inevitable though they may be, it still takes a moment or two to wrap your head around it. Temperance reminds us that you can kind of test the temperature or take a pulse reading before moving into something. I'm speaking figuratively. So if there's an important conversation that you need to make, particularly I just talked about like launching or announcing something, you can start by dipping your foot in the water of the conversation and checking with the person. How are you doing? Is this a great time to talk? If not, when can I get some of your time? Check in first. That will help. Also, just giving yourself time to think like, this is happening. I'm ready. I've done all of the work, like psychically and mentally psyching yourself up. Usually behind Temperance, we see a path. So the path has already been laid out. It's just a matter of saying, let's do this. Something about you right now, we have the two cups or the two sort of like gears in this because I'm using a steampunk deck. But usually there's two cups and the angel is just thinking, have I considered all the options in front of me? So take a step, a half step, a pause, get your thoughts collected before deciding what to do. That will help you make a wiser decision. The Six of Pentacles is all about discernment, and the scales are there just like you would see on Justice. So when you say yes or no to something, you've weighed the options. When someone asks why, you'll have the rationale. Yes, I would like to do this. I'm sure because I checked it this, and this. No, I don't have the time for this. How about that instead? You'll have everything, your thoughts gathered. Don't enter into a conversation if you don't have all of that, or you can always ask for more time. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'd love to give you an answer, but I need like a day. Let me look at my notes. Let me do some research. Let me think about it. So you could buy yourself some time in this moment to make sure that your next step is a great step. Don't overextend yourself. One thing I'm loving about this is we have upgraded. So the center card, Five of Pentacles, is about barely breaking even, and the Six of Pentacles is about achieving better balance. The reversal of this is just a fear for some of you of saying no or saying I need more. But ultimately, if I have to look at an opportunity and gauge, is it possible? Is it right? Ultimately, yes, provided that you are discerning, that you are willing and ready to say no to something so that you have enough. You have to save a little bit for yourself. There's always going to be open hands and people reaching for your time, your energy, and your attention. You have to decide to yourself, where am I going to make the best and biggest splash? And really, I think that's what Temperance is trying to do. Look at it from the bird's eye perspective, or the angel's eye perspective, since that's one of the angelic cards. Know this, the fact that we got an angel in the spread tells me that you're being guided, tells me that you're protected, tells me that you're ready. It also tells me you can avoid what we see here. So we have the Ten of Swords in the near future. If you don't say no, if you don't create better balance, work-life balance, more time for play, more time for rest, then what we see is an avoidable but nonetheless present Ten of Swords. This person is dressed up like a person going to work. I really feel like this is about overwork, exhaustion. But it can also be the other elements of the Ten of Swords, which can be chronic pain or fatigue. Again, I'm not a doctor, but in these situations, you would want to go to a doctor and get some assistance. Sometimes it has to do with neck, back, but it can also be something that has a tendency to inflame and come back. So something like that, chronic inflammation or pain. This is also a fear of failure, thinking to yourself of the worst case scenario. Oh my God, what if this happens? This is typically something that we mentally build up. So I would say to avoid the Ten of Swords, take care of yourself. Say no to things that exhaust you. And don't take the bait if someone's trying to get you to argue with them. My favorite Ten of Swords comes from the Lightseers deck, and we see someone basically on the other side of this illustration. So in the Steampunk deck, we have someone who has kind of gone through the ringer, maybe hasn't had their best moment. But here we have someone who either rebounded from it or avoided it altogether. We don't see any scars. We don't see her on the ground. We don't see the swords. The birds overhead represent the ruckus or the noise that someone might be causing, trying to poke at the bear, trying to get you to do something. She is cool, calm, and collected. She's saying, I know where this is going to go. I know it's not worth this momentary conversation or argument that we might have. So she's not taking the bait. She's also not repeating habits in her life that might be leading to that Ten of Swords, whether it, like we talked about the crutch at the center. So whether it's caffeine, alcohol, workaholic tendencies, codependent relationships, whatever the crutch is, she's saying, I've had enough. I've had enough, and I'm okay with saying no and moving in a new direction because ultimately it's going to be better for my heart, it's going to be better for my head, and I don't need this, okay? So I think you can skip over this, particularly because we had two cards here in the crowning position, making choices, tuning in, and reading the signs. As we look at you, it's the Fool. And the Fool typically is at a cliff, and it's interesting because the waterfall is about taking a leap, taking a jump, and so is the Fool. He has his trusty dog there with him. The interesting thing with this is we see a chimney sweeper. So in order to move to the next level of your life or whatever it is that you're trying to break through, a little bit of cleaning has to be done. And so this could just be like clearing the air. Instead of having an argument, just saying, I forgive you, or, just moving in a new direction where that heaviness isn't there. So clearing the air, clearing your mind, clearing yourself of things that you don't need anymore. Because in order to take this next journey, you don't need a lot. It's just a matter of, again, the discernment that we just talked about with the Six of Pentacles. Just looking at the archetypal Fool from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you can see what I was talking about with that cliff. Just like a waterfall, you're moving from one area to another. It's important to gauge how much of a leap am I taking? Do I have what it takes? Am I ready? There's always going to be a calculated risk with move and with change. The Fool reminds you not to be afraid, but the illustration tells you to calculate the leap so that you're ready on a resource level and also on an emotional level. As we take a look at the near future, we have a silver lining card coming through. It's the Ten of Cups in the reverse position, but nonetheless, this represents love, joy, partnership, and new connections coming into your life. Now, if we look at the traditional version of the card, we also see a rainbow at the top. And this is a period of joy after challenge. And it's a nice contrast to the Ten of Swords. So first comes that sort of wake-up call, that pivot moment. Then we have the rainbow representing joy and happiness. So we see Ten of Cups to me represents like friendship, love, and connections, whereas there's more of a commitment vibe in the Ten of Pentacles, where it can be marriage, contracts, work, co-workers. So what we're seeing here is really being able to lean into someone that you love or a group of people that support you, and I like that. The reversal of this could be a little bit of hesitation, though, in wondering, am I worthy? And the reason that the sort of inner saboteur is coming through and questioning that is the rejection. That can be either of these cards. One level of rejection does not mean that you're going to be rejected everywhere. Here we see something that is showing passion or interest, and this is a card that shows someone interested in you. You can be discerning, though. If you're not feeling the spark, if you don't feel that Ace of Wands, then basically these two cards are working together. You're weighing your options and saying, I don't think that this is enough. So it's okay to say no. But if somebody is interested in you and you're interested in them, or if there's a job opportunity and there's mutual interest, don't deny yourself a chance to leap into something new just because of a fear of a past setback. So fear is not a reason to say no. A lack of desire is, or a lack of interest is, but don't let fear hold you back. This can also be family. And sometimes when the Ten of Cups is reversed, family is imposing, pushing, or projecting their own system on you. They want you to do something because they think it'll make you happy. They want you to do something because they believe it's better than a choice that you've made. You don't have to agree with them in this situation. And you may be trying to ask yourself, are we going to have a conversation? am I just going to walk away and do what I want to do? There's no right or wrong answer here. You should stand up for yourself if you believe in something, but you don't have to argue and you don't have to get worked up. They can accept or reject your decision. You don't need them to approve of it because that's conditional love. If they only love you because you're doing something, it's the antithesis of this, which is unconditional love, okay? So a lot to unpack there, but I'm doing a general reading. So take the piece that you need. You deserve to be happy. Your approval shouldn't come at the expense of your happiness when it comes to friends or family. If they can't love you for who you are, then you deserve better because you're more than enough, okay? In hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have a card here, reverse the Two of Wands, that's connecting to the quest. And it's saying, have you given yourself enough time to figure out what you want and who you are? In the upright position, it's a dreaming card, daydreaming, envisioning. And it connects with magician or high priestess energy because when you know who you are and what you want, then you can see a pathway to it. The reversal of this could be regret, but regret can become a goal. So if there's something where you think, gosh, I wish I could have said or done that, all right, now you know. Let's set it into motion now. And the minute you do, this is one of those waterfall sea change moments where things start to break through. It feels like there's a rush of water and everything starts to move in that direction. As soon as you allow yourself to say, I want it. And in the card, and usually, as we see in this, we have someone grabbing at a world or a globe, and in this case, it looks like a gear. But once you know what you want, the gears start to move, things start to happen. One of the cautionary notes this month, these two are connected, the Ten of Swords and the Strength card in the reverse position. It's about like self-care. So Strength in reverse can simply show fatigue, sickness, or just basically being sick and tired of something. It could also be a person in your life that requires a lot. I love how we have this, it very much reminds me of the lion in The Wizard of Oz, where he didn't have a lot of bravery. He whined a little bit. There may be someone that just requires so much effort, and she's taking care of the lion, but at a certain point, it's like, I am exhausted. I'll find the traditional card while we're talking, but the traditional one also shows someone that can get what they want, but at great expense. A woman puts her fingers in the mouth of a lion, and through her will, through her skill, she's able to overcome that challenge. But I've said this before, relationships are work, but they shouldn't be a job. And whatever kind of relationship we're looking at, coworker, friend, mom, dad, lover, it shouldn't be like this all the time where we're constantly pushing for agreement or for the person to understand or see it from your perspective. Sometimes you can just let it go and say, take me or leave me. This is who I am, okay? From a physical perspective, make sure that you're giving yourself time to rest and exercise. Get a physical if it's been a minute. We'll talk more about that when we look at health, which is a nice segue here. So why don't we go ahead and expand this forecast into health, wealth, love, and destiny. A quick reminder that I indeed do offer private readings after a long hiatus. So you can go to my website for more information because I'm going to more briefly go into these expanded categories. So you can always reach out if you want more. For health, we're going to look at mind, body, and spirit. The energy for health was tend the roots of reciprocity. So we're looking at making sure that you're getting what you're giving, or at least somewhere closer to that. And that's why the crowning card was balance and reciprocity. So in your life, activities, responsibilities, friendships, jobs, everything need to eventually balance out on some levels, or the roots wither and then the tree can't stand. Also looking at the roots, we're looking at root chakra, safety, security, confidence, really not so much the confidence, safety and security more. Also looking at everything basically from the seat of your body down to your feet. So we don't always pay attention to that part of our body. Lower back for those of you that sit a lot. If it's been a minute since you've had something like a colonoscopy, this would be a good time for that. Also making sure that your knees and ankles and feet are in proper condition. Take care of that part of your body. It often gets neglected. And this is saying, take care of it. Tend to that. All right, briefly looking at this from a health perspective. Solar plexus. So there could be issues with digestion. There might also just be some nerves that you're dealing with. Obviously, with that, you'd work with the appropriate doctor, but that's coming up. Some of you might also be pregnant because the sun card can be connected to that. Five of Pentacles can simply be a cold or flu because you've worked yourself to exhaustion. This can also indicate, like I said, the extremities, which connects to the root chakra. Ten of Swords, chronic pain and fatigue, muscle and or joint pain. Obviously, all of this is just saying your body needs a break. You have to pick and choose more wisely and make time for rest and meditation. It's the number one message that's coming through. Because we have 6 and 10 of Cups in reverse, avoid drinking too much caffeine or alcohol, because just actually what you're putting into your body in general is very important, but it's based on consuming like liquid. So we just want to make sure you're getting enough water and you're not overdoing other substances. Nothing too sugary, nothing too caffeine oriented, and avoid alcohol. Other than that, things are okay. One thing that I would say here, though, is gentle movement is key. I mentioned I do some walking between appointments so that I can take care of myself, so I can keep the circulation going, so I can tend to the root chakra. So it can be as easy as walking on a treadmill or swimming in your pool or doing some chair-based activities just to stretch. Let's move on to wealth, which is your resources, life purpose, and career. The card that came through for you was Rabbit and Fox. In the guidebook that comes with this, they talk about generosity, and basically the rabbit was generous towards the moon goddess and then has its place in the moon. I'd like to just take these two totems, though, because I think they also reveal things that are going to play out when it comes to your finances. The fox, most importantly. Foxes are smart, but they can also be tricky. You want to be discerning when you look at contracts. Make sure you understand what you're getting into and that someone isn't trying to outfox you. The rabbit represents abundance, and it's typically at the foot of the Queen of Pentacles card. If you do things right, if you lead with generosity, with really just putting your best foot forward, kind of like what we see here in Temperance, then rabbits multiply. You're going to see your resources and opportunities multiply. Focus on doing things right, leading with integrity, and putting out into the world things that you would want. Don't try to outfox people. And if someone's trying to kind of put forth that Seven of Swords, Devil, or Moon energy in your life, because this is a moon card ultimately, you want to call it out and be smart about it. Briefly, let's break this down into major categories. Like I said, I'm just going to pick highlights in each of these. So let's get started. If you're currently employed, burnout is a real thing. You may just be at a point where it's like, if I put in one more late night, I'm going to get sick. So please, please, please take care of yourself. The other thing that I'm seeing for some of you is underappreciation. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles. This is time for you to advocate for more. It's not like you're asking for the world. You're asking for what you deserve. And if you aren't getting what you deserve, this is a time to have a conversation with your boss, manager, etc. There may also be some environmental things going on that are creating some chaos. It's interesting because it feels like there's a lot of desire to please people. So there may be one person in charge that demands fealty, like absolute obedience or something. And that could be a toxic management situation. You really want to take care of yourself, pick and choose your battles wisely, as we've talked about with this elevated 10 of Swords. And ultimately, you don't have to go into this energy here, okay? Can you get through this? Absolutely, because strength is the outcome. Try to take the high road, try to lead with integrity. And I think some of you are ready just to move. If you can't move up, you might be ready to move on. This is a great time to explore options beyond the present. You don't have to make any decision right here, right now, but I am seeing a need to either find a way to level up or find a way to move on. Moving on to entrepreneurs. There is a potential for you to also burn out. It would be great for you to bring in someone to provide assistance, help, so that you don't have to do all of this on your own. Traveling is probably going to be a necessity right now. It could be a really good way to forge a new relationship, a business relationship, so I can get behind that. It also feels like if you make some appropriate cuts or changes in the business model, then you can avoid this 10 of Swords, which could be, again, finances just hitting a full stop. So do less, but do it better. Maybe put some of the future launches on a phased approach, like certain percentage gets out now and then some later. You have to really think about balancing the checkbook and also balancing the time and energy you're investing into work. If you are looking for work, there is like a silver lining. I definitely see this feeling of being rejected or feeling rejected, but ultimately there's one or two options on the horizon. It might be a week or two away. We have a Fool card here, which represents needing to either move, travel, or try something a little different. The Fool is moving into something that you haven't done before, reimagining or repackaging your skill set so that you can experience something new. I do see a slight upgrade in pay from whatever it was you were doing before, so that's good. I also see the sort of like urgency of finding something sooner than later. With all the love cards that I see here, it might also be a good time if you need to ease the stress a little bit to maybe have a roommate, spend time with family, do something to kind of reduce the overhead, okay? Avoid saying something negative during the interview. Even if you had a bad boss or bad experience, focus on the positives or the learnings rather than throwing someone under the bus, okay? Students, again with the burnout, try not to overdo it, whether it's too many classes, too much work, too much extracurricular activities, something needs to give. One poor grade does not make your future. We've all gotten something before where it's just not optimal, but I see you pivoting from this and actually bouncing back. So if you got a bad grade, talk to the professor. If you had a bad day, talk to the professor. Some of you might also be going through a breakup, and that's difficult. I get it. So if you are going through a breakup or a loss in your life, take time to be gentle with yourself. Take a couple days off and then come back and regroup. All right, retirees, many of you are at a point in life where you want to do some traveling or exploring. There could be some chronic pain or fatigue like fibromyalgia, arthritis, or some sort of inflammation that came back out of nowhere. It does look like give it a week or two and it will settle down. There looks like there might be a trip on the horizon for some of you, or you're thinking of planning one. I think that's a great idea. Some of you are pulling away from friends or family a little bit. Maybe you want to meet some new people, and I'm also all for that. We're going to look at relationships here in just a moment. Pick and choose your time wisely. Your time, your money, your attention are valuable, invaluable even. So choose something that feels right for you and know that you don't owe anybody an explanation. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. In love and relationships, we have a card that represents loyalty, the dog. My dog is in another room, but you saw him earlier. The interesting thing here is two things. First of all, when we're looking at loyalty and next steps, I think for some of you, you're figuring out who's really with you. What I love about my dog is that whether I'm sick or well or happy or sad, he's always there. And I think for some of you, you're identifying the fair weather friends in your life and then the ones that are actually your ride or die energies. And this is a time to be discerning with who you put the time and energy into. Obviously, we don't want the fair weather friends. We want the loyalty. There's also an energy around control with this because there's like the human and the dog and the leash between them. But interestingly enough, sometimes the dog is walking the human, sometimes the human's walking the dog. So we want to see symbiotic relationships where it's clear who's taking the lead. Like dancing, it's hard to have two leads. You have to lead and follow and take turns. So reciprocity, playing a role again. All right, let's look at this on 3 different levels, starting with those who are currently partnered. If you're in a partnership, I love the deep past. 6 of Cups shows deep love and connection. Sun shows passion and appreciation. But there's a couple of challenges. One or both of you might be dealing with some insecurities stemming from the past or a recent event that kind of brought up things from the past. 6 of Pentacles is about reclaiming your balance. Same thing with Temperance. But the partner may not be able to help with all of that. They may be able to give you the perspective, but you might have to do this on your own. Also, family could be coming in between you and your partner and creating an argument. Mom, dad, sister, brother coming in and saying, I don't agree with the way your partner did this or the way the two of you are raising your kids or where you're living or what you're doing or who you're loving. And you know what? They need to butt out. So create better boundaries in your life. And I really think we have divine feminine energy. So it's one person coming in trying to make you do what they want. It's your life. The two of you, though, I feel like you can get through it. There might be an argument that you have to clear the air with. We talked about that with the chimney sweep earlier here. So sometimes you just say, okay, I'm going to agree to disagree, and you can walk away from something. Moving on to single and looking. Can you find someone? Yes, but I feel like you need to take care of yourself first. Sickness, cold, burnout, whatever is going on, that's the most important thing. We have mutual attraction, it looks like here with the Ace of Wands, but Ten of Cups in reverse can be someone that really wants to jump immediately into long-term relationship status. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, it may not work out because we have a very hands-free, no strings attached card connected to it, the Fool. We have a Leo in the long run that's coming through and would be more ready, but is it could be a little needy. That's the best way that I can put it here as you see this. Someone that also might be nursing their own wounds. Some of you might be too close to a rebound. Give yourself time, give yourself space. And then eventually what we see, that strength card energy will come through. But right here, right now, a little bit of self-care. I'll always be honest when I see that. Okay, and by the way, maybe you're just going to look at bringing in a pet or an animal into your life. It's a great addition to your life. All right, single and happy. Congrats for being single and happy. Aside from the healing, which we've talked about, I see an ability this month to level up your finances, to do some great networking energy between Six of Cups, the Sun, and the Ten of Cups. You're very magnetic, but you're working a little bit on self-confidence and self-care. I do think travel could be really, really good. You could meet new people. It could also open up your mind and heart and help you with some of that healing as well. All right, let's go to Destiny. We have a really cool card here, a misunderstood totem. I love bats. So the bat represents listening and perceiving things that aren't obvious to everyone else, because yes, they can see, but they also see through their sonar, through their ability to use echolocation. Bats are pollinators. So sometimes we give all of the love to a butterfly, a bee, or a hummingbird. Bats are just as important. And they get unnecessarily put into a bad category because they travel at night and all of that stuff. But bats are cute. And they're coming through to say, in this moment in time, listen before speaking. Listen to also what you can see from a clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant perspective, not just what's on the surface, not just what's obvious. There's something that you're perceiving that is so invaluable, and even if other people don't hear it or see it, you do. Listen to that inner knowledge. It won't lead you astray, okay? Now is a time to ask one final question. Anything that you still need some help with. Go ahead and ask your question. I'm going to give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. Okay, so you received the Emperor in the reverse position. As a yes or no, it's a yes. However, there might be a part of you that is still making peace with something and still getting your confidence. Until you fully believe and own the vision, the plan, the decision, wait a second. Wait before you speak. Get to that feeling of, I'm ready, I'm worthy, let's do this, and then you can move forward. There's a lot of power cards that are reversed. So the Strength card and the Emperor card in reverse are two people that are stubborn, that both think that it's their way or the highway, and you may have to kind of find your inner entrepreneur and try something on your own. Also, if you care enough about something, go for it, fight for it, own it. The Emperor is confident and clear, and that's really what's going to help you out. And for your waterfall energy here, it feels like the breakthrough for some of you, it's just taking that first step. It's time to step into something, to launch something, to state it, and listen to your intuition on the right time and the right place. What I see is a breakthrough in finances. I see new relationships also coming through that could provide something new, and then new ideas, but you have to trust in the timing and in your emotions when it comes to all of these, okay? If you enjoyed what you saw here, and I hope you did, do me a favor. All it takes is a simple click. You can subscribe. It's free. That allows you to comment. It also helps my channel grow. So from my heart to yours, that's the easiest way to show love and appreciation. To stay abreast of new information, please join my newsletter. I don't overuse it. I will send out newsletters, every couple months, sometimes maybe once a month. You can always unsubscribe at any point, but this is a great way to stay in touch. It's free as well. You can go to my website for more information about me, and from there you can also give back through PayPal if you'd like to, or you can schedule a reading with me. Like I said, I'm kind of making these monthly ones a little bit smaller. The next round will be even a little bit shorter, so that frees up my schedule for more readings if you'd like to connect. Also from my website, you can follow me on social media. it's always my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. I'm also recently on Substack. Feel free to follow me there. Finally, here on YouTube, you can become a sustaining member from month to month. And this helps the channel more than you know, because ad revenue only goes so far. That's why I do readings. That's why there's all these different ways to connect, because I really do rely on the support of all of you. So if you did enjoy this, you can leave a comment and a sticker with it and say thanks. It's a small way to show appreciation. It helps more than you know. That's everything for this month. From my heart to yours, I wish you all the best. Check out my daily, weekly, monthly, and special topic videos all on my main channel page. And until I see you next time, wishing you much love and happiness. Take care.